Hi there, yeah, the name's Gary. I'm doing my first shave video, and certainly the first shave video of 2020. I was going to do one earlier, but I just didn't get around to it. This video is for a mate of mine called Chris, who I gifted a 34C to. I mean, he's trying it out if he doesn't like it. But I did promise to put this video up for him for the way I shave, but I also pointed him at other channels such as Geofatboy, PaulH Films. Nick Shaves has got a particularly good series on beginner shavers with DE. So yeah, here goes. So I'm obviously going to be shaving with the same razor that I've gifted. So that's the 34C or the 34HD or the 34C HD, it's whatever you want to call it. I've got a Yaki 28mm brush with a tuxedo knot. As you can see, you've got that there. So, and then I'm going to be using a pre-shave, which I tend to do nowadays. It's something fairly recent for me. I've got a few more aggressive razors recently, and you can probably tell by there's a bit of a mark there where I caught myself with one of them. I'm going to go back to pretty much the beginning with my shaving, where my first razor blade was the 34CHD. The first brush I had was a gift I was given for Christmas, which was pretty useless, and I've thrown it since. But the first stick I used was a Palmolive. Great thing. It's a shame they don't sort of sell these in this country anymore. Post shave, I'm going to be using a bit of a Boots combination, which is the Boots Freshwood aftershave, followed by the aftershave balm by Boots. Just fancied doing that. So oh, and yes, in between I do like to, I mean, immediately post shave, the third pass, which I'll explain in a bit, I tend to use this, which is the Boots Teatree Witchazel facial toner. So that's where we're at. Let's just get on with the shave then. So I've been shaving for probably about 6 years, something like that. It's longer than I thought I'd been shaving actually, but when I looked at my subscriptions to some of the other channels, they're about 6 years ago. So this is the pre-shave going on. I put about an almond sized bit of cream / gel, and I'm just rubbing it on the bristles in preparation for the soap to go on. Obviously I've had a shower. Always the best way to shave is immediately after a shower. On with the soap now. And with the stick, it's face lathering, so you basically get your brush and make the lather on your face. So I tend to get plenty of this on. Palmolive, when it was being sold, you could get it as cheap as 50p a stick. You can't find it on the shelves now, or at least I haven't seen it recently in my local area anyway on the shelves. But you can still get the cream. Yeah, why did I get into DE wet shaving? Let's start lathering up. So what I do is I squeeze out the brush and then just go for it. So why did I get into DE shaving? Well, I was a bit fed up with the price of, I was using a Mac 3 at the time, but a bit fed up at the prices of the blades, to be honest. And I started looking at the Dollar Shave Club and Harry's and various other subscription services, which seem to be considerably cheaper. And I thought, well, you know, maybe I should give these guys a try. I'm going to put a bit of water on this, it's a bit dry for me. And funnily enough, while I was looking at these subscription services, one of the listings on Google was Nick Shaves. So I had a look at his channel, and I saw he had a series on shaving with a DE, you know, and I thought, and I remember the days when my father used to shave with a DE, and I was the one that persuaded him to go with the Mac, or the, you know, the cartridge razor, of which I now feel quite guilty. So really out of, you know, curiosity, I thought, well, I'll give it a go. And it seemed that there were two razors that you could go for, the Merkur 34C or the Edwin Jagger DE89. That was the one that was recommended as a starter razor. They're not mild, they're sort of between mild and medium, and they're a good smooth razor. So yeah, I bought one of those. I thought, well, you know, it's what, 30 quid, 40 quid, whatever. I can't remember how much I spent on this. But I bought it. It came with some free blades. I did actually get some Astras, which I luckily tried first time round, because the second time round I used Derby blade, which cut me to shreds, because I just don't get on with Derbys. I've tried and tried and tried. But so I put some Astra greens in, and it worked a treat. At the moment I'm trying a different blade in this. This is a LADAS blade in there. It's on its third use, and it will be going in the bin after that. But yeah, so I watched him, and that's how I started with DE shaving. It's, you know, when you compare it to cartridge razor shaving, yes, you've got a higher upfront cost, but your blades, you know, they can be 10 pence, even less a blade, whereas you're paying, what, 12, 14, 16 pounds for 4 blades. You can get a pack of 10 for a quid, you know, depending on what you're buying. I think I've just ordered some Gillette 7 o'clocks in a green pack, and I think they were 175 for 10. So it gives you an idea. Anyway, I better get on with this shave. So first pass, as they call it, so the first shave is with the grain, and for me, with the grain is straight down on both sides pretty much, although my with the grain on this side is diagonal. That's the one thing you learn with wet shaving, is you've got to learn or map your face growth, facial hair growth. So you've got to work out which direction it all grows in. And I mean, I've got one side that grows pretty much as you'd expect, which is straight down. This side does a diagonal. But I tend to just go down and do the shave, you know, both sides pretty much the same. You see there is a little deviation anyway. So first pass, so you basically place the blade perpendicular to your face and then just tip it up a little bit and off you go. In fact, this blade's really needs to be replaced. I'll do it after this. Yeah, it's pulling a bit. Bear with me 1 second, I'm going to change the blade out. Yeah, so I'm back. I've just changed it for a generic blade that comes with sample packs and so on. So yeah, oh, that's better. So yeah, as I was saying, first pass, as we call it, is with the grain. So whichever way your hair grows, just follow the grain of your hair on the first pass. This one, whilst my hair grows in that direction, I tend to just go straight down anyway. So again, 90 degrees to your face, tip it up a little bit and start. You add no pressure at all when you're shaving with a DE, unlike your cartridge razor where you actually apply pressure. This, you just rest it against your face and let the head do the work. You can probably hear the blade cutting. That's where I caught myself with a cheap, I think it's probably less than £1 razor. The one disadvantage with DE shaving is that when you think you're going to save money on blades, you may start to get gear acquisition syndrome, or gas, as they call it, which unfortunately I have. I've, over the last years I've been shaving, I've accrued quite a few razors and stuff like that. Let's just rinse this off. I'll go for the second pass. Add a bit more water to the brush, and this one will be across the grain, which is where this changes a little bit. This is across the grain on this side is across the grain as you'd typically expect, but across the grain on this side, because it sort of grows sort of diagonally, I kind of go up on this side, and I find that works better than going horizontally across. So you'll see now. And there's I mean, if anybody else watches this, I think you should really be looking at channels like PaulH Films. He's brilliant. Nick Shaves took a sabbatical for a few years. He was in the medical he was training to be a doctor. I'm not sure what stage he's at, but he's only just released another couple of videos, so it's great to see him back. But he had to take 2 years out. He was that busy with his medical sort of education. So he's just come back. So he's well worth a watch, and certainly if you're beginning, watch the beginner series that he does. They're all about 3 minutes long or whatever, 3 to 5 minutes long I think each video, and it really goes through step by step how to begin shaving like this. So across the grain. Again, applying no pressure. And then this side I go up. Just because of the direction of the hair growth, I find across the grain is horizontal on this side. Yeah, so there's PaulH Films, there's Geofatboy is another good one, Nick Shaves, Kevy Shaves, there's loads. I may well list them out below, the ones that the channels I recommend you go and watch. This is, yes, my intention with this channel is to go through my shaving experience from the beginning, which razors I bought, what soaps I bought, things like that. So hence this is effectively a beginner's shave. It's fairly low cost. You've got, the Merkur 34C is not an expensive razor. At 30 to 40 pounds, I forget the price now, but it's well worth it. The soap was 50p. The cream, the tubes of cream that you get are probably about 75p, I think, a tube, something like that. I don't know, I haven't actually looked lately. I've got quite a few tubes, and I've actually stocked up on quite a lot of soaps, the Palmolive shaving sticks, because when I heard they were going to stop selling them, I went out and bought about 10. So pretty much cleared the local super drug store of all their Palmolive shave sticks. A bit selfish of me because nobody else could get it, but I'm assuming they stopped selling them in this country because they weren't selling enough. But hey ho. Right, across the grain now. And you can really hear the feedback on this side. just going under the chin vertically, because that is the way I get the smoothest. Yeah, so, you know, big shout out to those guys, and they were the inspiration for me to do this video, in fact. So yeah, so that was the third pass. So to get a really good BBS, or baby butt smooth shave, you've got to do 3 passes really. That's the way you get your smoothest shave, and then you do what's called a pickup pass. So you feel around your face, and I can feel my usual spots. There's a couple of spots here where I've kind of got to go that way, you know, sort of that direction. That's not bad there. I've got a scar area here where I had an operation to fix problems with my spine, and the hairs around the scar grow in all sorts of directions, so I've got to always go over that. So here goes. This is the pickup pass. Just about enough soap in the brush left. I could always add more soap, I mean it's cheap enough, so it's no big deal. But yeah, I hope this helps you, Chris, and I hope this, if anybody else watches, I hope it helps you as well. To go in all sorts of directions here. Yeah, that's got it. Just a little bit more. Yeah. Okay, so that is basically the shaving bit done. I'm just going to rinse off, empty out this, rinse off with some hot water. Once it gets hot, right, and because I've got a little nick, I'll go around with some cold now. Use something called an Allen block, which is something like this. You can get them from Amazon. It's ALLUM if you're looking for it. Just wet it and then rub it over your face. It's a good indicator as well in terms of how well you've shaved. There's a slight burn in the areas where, certainly down here where I nicked myself, and there I think I might have scraped that, which is not surprising. And you leave this on for a little while. I'm just gonna, what you do then is dry off the Allen block, because otherwise it will start to form crystals. It'll be quite rough next time you come around to use it. Put it up there and out of the way. So today's Saturday. I will probably try and do a video every Saturday if I can. Depends on, you know, if I get any sort of views or responses to this. In encouragement, I may well start doing one every Saturday. PaulH does one twice a week. Well, he's got 2 channels, which 007 Vauxhall is his food and walking channel. It's hot and spicy food, and he also shows the area that he lives in, and he goes for walks in the mountains and stuff. So he's an interesting guy to watch. I'm actually a fellow Welshman. My actual name is Geraint, but most people call me Gary, so that's why I introduced myself as Gary. Anyway, let's wash this off. But he's certainly a good guy to go and watch and subscribe to his channel, because he's always got interesting combinations. I will, you know, I haven't got as many razors as he has by any means. I've probably got about 10, maybe 11, 12, something like that. And I've also got I've got a shavette style razor, a Japanese feather razor, shavette, and I've got a straight razor, which I'm probably not going to use again because it's carbon steel and it's rusted, and I just probably will, you know, not bother. I bought some polishing cloth, so I might try polishing it out, so that's you know, then I might have another go. But yeah, so I'm going to use this Boots Witchazel, Teatree Witchazel. Really good stuff, this, and I love the smell. Again, this will give you an indication. It doesn't sting too much. Nowhere near as much as what's that lad's name out of Home Alone? Come to me in a minute, but yeah, the aftershave will burn far more than this toner will, but it does give us a bit of a burn. Just let that dry in a second. Beard wise, I always use, I use some kind of oil. I've got like a balm, a preshave balm, which is really nice, very nice smell, but I also use the bulldog oil. I don't do too much more than that. I trim it up after a shower and a shave, and that's it. So right, so where are we next? So this is the Boots Freshwood aftershave. It's obvious that it's new because I can't get the lid off. There we go. So let's chuck this on. Oh, that smells nice. I like the smell. Superdrug do a Freshwood as well, which I think I actually prefer the smell of the Superdrug one, but these are really cheap. I think it's about £3 for a bottle. So what, $4, $5, something like that. Yeah, so next stage is the aftershave balm. I always try and just get a bit on your finger, and you just need a very small amount to do this. Put this on over the top. This has also got the Freshwood scent. And that's pretty much it. What I do is I have this Nivea Men's moisturising cream, which I also throw on. You know, once this dries up a bit, I'll throw that on. But the next stage now is to clean everything up, and it's quite an important stage. I'm not going to go through that in this video, but just remember, I mean, that looks pretty grungy now that it's been used. It's worth going over with a toothbrush, taking it apart, going over with a toothbrush, just clean it up and leave it to dry. I dry it off with a towel first, and then let the air in the house do the rest. Clean out my brush, just get everything sorted, and if I've used the bowl, I'll clean the bowl. So that's pretty much it, Chris. I hope that helps. If you've got any questions, let me know. And anybody else, if you've got any questions, let me know. You know, just ask. I'll try and respond. But as I say, I'll probably do another one of these every Saturday. The next razor I bought was a DE89, an Edwin Jagger DE89. So I'll be using that next, along with a different soap. Probably another budget soap. Might use something like the Body Shop Macaroot. That's a really good beginner soap, and it's a great soap overall. Really, it's cheap for what it does. Anyway, so I won't, gabble on too much. So until next week, bye for now.